Ever wondered why some of the brightest minds in history felt trapped by the very system meant to inspire them? Education is often hailed as humanity's greatest invention, crafted to share knowledge and unlock potential for future generations. But hold on a second, if it's all about creativity and independent thinking, why do so many innovators say they felt stifled in school? It's a pretty wild contradiction, right? Let's dive into this intriguing reality together. This paradox invites deeper examination. Enduring institutions are rarely accidental. They are designed, consciously or not, to serve specific functions. When we view education not just as a learning tool, but as a mechanism for shaping thought and behavior, its purpose seems far more Machiavellian than idealistic. Machiavelli understood that the most effective forms of power are those that do not declare themselves as such. A ruler who governs by force alone faces constant rebellion, but one who convinces subjects that controlling structures exist for their own good wields a more enduring power. When Machiavelli wrote that everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are, he described not just leaders, but systems themselves. Education appears benevolent. But what if its hidden function is to cultivate compliance, normalize hierarchy, and condition minds to accept predetermined social roles? To explore this, we must examine education's origins, not just its ideals. Modern schooling, with age-grouped classes, bells marking time, and standardized curricula delivered to passive students, did not emerge from child psychology or natural curiosity. Its roots are entangled with industrial society's rise. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, industrialists and planners needed workers suited for mass production, punctual, obedient, and accepting of rigid hierarchies. They required compliant laborers, not independent thinkers. Thus, modern education's design reflects these needs. The school day's structure mirrors factory rhythms, emphasis on authority, memorization, and standardized grading cultivates traits valuable to industrial power. Consider Charles Eliot, Harvard's president in 1905, who bluntly stated, "We want one class to have a liberal education, and another, much larger class to forego this privilege and fit themselves for specific manual tasks." This two-tiered vision, one path for elites, another for masses, embodied Machiavelli's advice to maintain separation between rulers and servants while disguising it as from this view. Education becomes less about liberating minds and more about channeling them into roles sustaining existing power structures. Countless schooling features reveal themselves as control mechanisms. Take arbitrary rules: no gum chewing, walking on one side of halls, dress codes, hand raising. These seemingly trivial rules serve a profound psychological function, training children to obey commands they do not understand. This conditions minds to equate authority with morality. Studies show children often defer to adults' rules even without justification, learning to silence inner reasoning for external directives. Another mechanism is dependency on external validation. From gold stars to grades, students learn to measure worth by authorities' evaluations, not inner accomplishment. This dependency follows into adulthood, creating approval-seeking, risk-averse adults paralyzed by fear of unsupervised mistakes. Such citizens are ideal, seeking approval, fearing disapproval, rarely acting independently. Knowledge fragmentation is another control tool. By isolating subjects, students struggle to see connections between disciplines. They learn facts but not systems, reciting formulas without analyzing how economics influences politics or technology reshapes culture. This compartmentalization disarms them intellectually, making it harder to see broader power patterns. Layered atop this is competition. Grading curves, rankings, and selective admissions convey that success is scarce and advancement depends on others' failure. This breeds division over solidarity, precisely what Machiavelli advised rulers to encourage. Education convinces students that peers are rivals, not allies. Finally, consider how education punishes mistakes. Errors are treated as deficiencies, not growth opportunities. This creates adults terrified of failure, unwilling to take risks or innovate. For existing power structures, it's perfect. Risk-averse citizens rarely question authority or challenge systems. This machinery of arbitrary discipline, external validation, and fragmented knowledge produces compliant citizens, not free thinkers. Yet ironically, Machiavelli would insist that effective leaders must escape these traps. He advised rulers to study history, learn from patterns, and cultivate both cunning and strength. Leaders can't rely on external validation. They must trust their judgment. They can't think in fragments. They must see whole systems. And they can't fear mistakes. They must embrace risk for decisive action. Thus, within education's compliance, machinery lies a seed of liberation. Recognizing how the system shapes you grants power to resist it. Awareness becomes immunity. Seeing clearly through benevolent appearances to recognize control mechanisms reclaims your agency. History offers examples of individuals who did this. Steve Jobs dropped out, but pursued calligraphy, revolutionizing typography. Richard Branson left school at 16, yet built a global empire by embracing risk. Maria Montessori rejected conventional pedagogy, creating an alternative, unleashing generations of innovators. These figures weren't shaped by education as designed. They broke free and built their own paths. The real question isn't whether education has hidden purposes. Evidence suggests it does. The question is, what will you do with this awareness? Will you continue seeking approval, playing by others' rules, fearing mistakes? Or will you cultivate internal validation, interdisciplinary thinking, and strategic risk? Will you recognize that your greatest strength lies in qualities traditional education suppressed: curiosity, creativity, and independent judgment? We face a profound paradox. The traits most necessary for 21st century success: creativity, adaptability, collaboration, resilience, are least encouraged by traditional schooling. The system designed for the industrial age emphasizes compliance, memorization, and competition. Machiavelli would see, in this paradox, confirmation of his insights. Power systems rarely evolve unless forced, and it is always the responsibility of the few who see clearly to lead the many who do ante. Our task is not just to critique education, but to reimagine it. To create systems cultivating leaders over followers, creators over conformists. This requires institutional change. Alternative models like project-based learning, authentic assessment, teacher autonomy, and interdisciplinary exploration. But it also requires each individual's decision to reclaim agency, build their own learning system, trust their judgment, and pursue their purpose. Because ultimately, the most Machiavellian truth is this: power resides not just in institutions, but in perception. To see clearly, strip away appearances, and understand hidden control mechanics. This is power, and once possessed, no system, however entrenched, can truly dominate you.